The cleaning lady only came to mop the floor, but by accident, she stumbled into a top-tier corporate meeting. At that moment, the CEO was troubled. The company was being targeted by a combined assault from the four major families. The stock price had fallen over 19% since the opening, and the company had lost $30 billion. It was on the verge of collapsing. Meanwhile, all the business elites from major New York investment banks were in a panic. Just then, the cleaning lady barged in, interrupting their meeting. The CEO immediately ordered her to leave, but she calmly set down her mop and mocked them. All these renowned business talents couldn't even handle a basic stock crisis. An assistant nearby angrily scolded her, saying she was just a cleaner and didn't know anything about stocks. Daring to speak arrogantly in such a serious situation, the woman didn't argue with him. She simply sat down, made a few adjustments, and suddenly, the stock price surged. Then, she turned and left. Before leaving, she told the CEO that if the stock hit the limit up before closing, she hoped he would give the project to William. After the woman left, the stock price indeed soared, and by closing time, it hit the limit up. Not only did the company avoid collapse, but it made a huge profit of $10 billion. The CEO kept his promise, and decided to assign project number 9 to William. The assistant was shocked upon hearing this, because project number 9 was extremely important, and it involved an investment of billions. The CEO believed she could pull the company out of its crisis. She must have an extraordinary business sense. What he didn't know was, the woman wasn't just a financial genius, she was the daughter of a billionaire. The woman had made a deal with her father, that within 3 years, she could hide her identity and suffer alongside her husband. But after 3 years, she must take over the family business. She had just helped her husband secure a $10 billion order, and today was her husband's birthday. So, she refused to go back. The butler had no choice but to respect her decision. But when the woman brought a cake to celebrate her husband's birthday, her little sister-in-law knocked it to the floor, and instead of stopping her, the husband handed her a divorce agreement. The woman couldn't believe it. She thought he was joking, but his next words left her stunned. When asked for the reason, he told her their relationship was over. To her surprise, her sister-in-law directly claimed she was useless. Now that they had secured the missing $10 billion order, their status had changed completely, and they no longer needed a housewife who could only wash clothes and cook. She also said the new woman was out of her league. The reason for the divorce was because the woman had given her husband a $10 billion birthday gift. The most shocking part was, after receiving the order, the first thing her husband did was file for divorce. The brother and sister's words pierced her heart like needles. She thought back to when she was the head of the prestigious Lu Group in Kyoto. She left everything behind for love and married this man. For 3 years, she silently supported him. She helped him when he was in his most difficult times, and it was she who saved the company from bankruptcy. But in return, she received a divorce agreement. What was even more ridiculous was that her husband thought the $10 billion order had been given by the four major families' daughters, and that they were about to get married. Upon hearing this, the woman only let out a cold laugh. At that moment, she let go of all her attachment, and calmly signed the divorce papers, telling her husband not to regret his decision. Thinking it was all over, she started packing her things and prepared to leave, but was stopped by her former mother-in-law and sister-in-law. They thought she was just a maid, and that she must have